What's up guys? We are Carol and Chris, and in this video we're gonna do a super complete travel guide of El Nido.
We spent 6 months there during the beginning of the pandemic, and because of that we have a lot of information about the accommodations, the food, the transport, the attractions, and the prices of traveling around El Nido, which became one of our favorite places in the world.
The Philippines has reopened to tourism in 2022. The country has safety measures in place, and now fully vaccinated travelers with a booster shot can enter the Philippines with no COVID test or quarantine required.
So you just need your vaccination certificate, your passport obviously, and you'll need to register on a Filipino portal called One Health, and there you'll be able to get a QR code which will allow you to travel around the Philippines. All the updated requirements can be found on these websites here.
As we mentioned many times here on this channel, the Philippines is our favorite beach destination, and we are already planning our next trip there, which will happen soon.
As you may know, the Philippines has over 7,000 islands, so there's still much more for us to explore, but as we mentioned, this video is about El Nido, so let's get into the El Nido travel guide.
To get there, you have two options if you're coming from a major city like Manila or Cebu. You can fly to Puerto Princesa and take a van from there, which is usually the cheapest option, but it takes a lot longer. Or you can fly directly into El Nido to Leo Airport. Many people visit another island called Coron nearby, and ferries are also available from there to El Nido.
We divided this travel guide into two parts, the west coast of El Nido and the east coast. We'll start by talking about the more popular west coast, where the main attractions and the El Nido town are located. The main area of El Nido is El Nido town, but there are many other neighborhoods nearby like Corong Corong and Calan. In these places you will find many hotels and restaurants, and this is also the area where the majority of the island hopping tours leave from.
Some of the average accommodations that we stayed in were Francisco Inn for $36 and Focus Rooms for $50. We stayed at some higher end resorts in the area called RC Villas, which costs around $70, and El Nido Reef Strand Resort that costs around $90. Both of these places have amazing views from the rooms and include a restaurant area with infinity pools. We also rented a beachfront house in Corong Corong for a week called the Beach House for $70, which is better if you want to be able to cook for yourself. And this place was great because it was right on the beach and you could hear the waves crashing at night.
Another unique place that we stayed was on a sailboat called Kalayaan, which is situated in either Corong Corong or El Nido town. For $130 you have a private bed, and there is a captain on the boat who will assist you. There are kayaks available and a smaller speedboat that can take you to different beaches and islands nearby. The main attraction in El Nido is the island hopping tours. There are 4 main boat tours called Tour A, B, C and D, but there are other private tours available for a higher price, which allows you to mix the tours and visit some different areas. The boat tours range from $20 to $25 per person in a group tour, depending on which tour you decide to do, and you also have to pay an environmental fee, which is around $3.60, and it is valid for 10 days. These tours are where you encounter the iconic scenery that El Nido is famous for. The tours will take you to many different islands with incredible white sand beaches, coral reefs and gigantic limestone cliffs. Some of our favorite spots that we visited on the tours are the Blue Lagoons, Pinagbuyatan Island, Secret Lagoon and Secret Beach.
There are also a few places close to the mainland that you can visit by renting a kayak from the El Nido town or Corong Corong. From El Nido town, you can kayak to the huge Cadlao Island in front, which has many beautiful beaches to visit, and from Corong Corong you can visit Lapus Lapus, Papaya, and Seven Commandos Beach. We did also visit our favorite island Pinakbuyutan by kayak, but it recently became a private island.
In El Nido town there is a place called Taro Cliff, which gives you the unique experience of being able to walk above the limestone cliffs. For $13 you will get a guided tour to the top of the cliffs, where you will get amazing views of the town below. The cliff is easy to climb as they have built stairs, so not much fitness is required. The mainland of El Nido also features many incredible beaches that can be visited by road. The best one close to the center of El Nido is probably Vanilla Beach, which now has a small shopping area, and you can find a few beachfront restaurants and accommodations there.
Our favorite mainland beach overall is one called Nakpon Beach, which is about a 40-minute drive from the center of El Nido. Nakpon is a 4-kilometer beach with creamy colored sand and beautiful transparent water. There are accommodations and restaurants there, which makes it another great place to stay if you want somewhere quieter out of town. Above Nakpon there is another great beach called Duli Beach, which is even more quieter and secluded and is a popular surfing spot during the winter. The area of Leo, which has the airport, has some newly developed restaurants and accommodations, which makes it another good option as a place to stay and is not far from El Nido town. All these places mentioned are on the west coast of El Nido, which means you get amazing sunsets almost every day with many sunset spots to choose from.
As we mentioned before, there are many restaurants in the El Nido town and Corong Corong area. Some of our favorites are Happy Home, which is on the main El Nido town beach and has local and international food at an affordable rate with great views. There we could get a fresh tuna steak for $4, Coke for 70 cents, and brewed coffee for $1.90. Biryani Kitchen was our go-to for tasty Indian food from an Indian chef. There we could get a chana masala for $4.60, puri bread for $1.80, and a roti for $1.10. Another great restaurant near the El Nido town beach is Art Cafe, which was a bit more upscale with many international food options and usually had some good music and a good vibe with sea views. There we could get a margarita pizza for $5.90, a small pumpkin soup for $2.56, and a breaded fish fillet with salad for $7. In Corong Corong, we really like to visit a place called Bella Vita for good Italian food and relaxing beach views. There we could get a regular quattro formaggi pizza for $7.10 and a large margarita pizza for the same price. Friends Hostel is another great option, which has more of a party atmosphere and has a great rooftop area with a pool and a bar, and has some fun games like ping pong.
To get around El Nido, the two popular options are by tuk-tuk or renting your own scooter. We chose to get the scooter to have more freedom, and it is also much cheaper to get around overall. The current cost of a scooter rental is between $7 to $9 a day. Besides beaches and islands, there are some nice waterfalls that can be visited. Two that we visited are called Nagkalit Kalit and Bulalakaw Falls. To get to both of them, you have to do a bit of trekking through the jungle, but that made the experience even better, and at the end of the sweaty trek, you get to swim in the refreshing cool waters of the falls.
During our stay in El Nido, we were very fortunate to be the first tourists to ever go on a brand new helicopter tour of the islands, which just started at the end of 2020. This was easily one of the best experiences that we had during our stay there, and really put into perspective just how many islands there are and how big they are. An experience we will never forget. Now we'll get into the second part of the guide, which will be focused on the east coast part of El Nido. The majority of tourists only explore the west coast of El Nido, but the east coast has many gems which shouldn't be missed. A popular area on the east coast is called Sibaltan, which is a traditional looking Filipino village on the coast, and it has more of a lazy backpacker vibe to it compared to El Nido town. Here you will find many backpacker style beachfront accommodations.
Above Sibaltan, there is an area called San Fernando, and there we stayed at one of the nicest hotels in El Nido called T Palawan. When we visited, it was around $300 a night. This hotel has a native luxury style with a swimming pool, yoga classes, a big restaurant area, and a beautiful exclusive beach. They offer other things like diving tours and kite surfing, which is popular on this coast. Facing this coast is another set of islands called Linapakan Islands, which can also be visited by boat tours.
Near Sibaltan you can visit an archaeological site called Nido Cave within a huge limestone cliff. Discoveries in this cave have shown that it was inhabited and used in the Paleolithic and Neolithic times, and they found artifacts dating back to 14,000 years ago. This is a great option if you want to do something different than visiting beaches and islands, and will give you a better historic understanding of the area.
The best place that we stayed overall in El Nido was a private island called Brother Island, just off the northwestern coast. This was the first time that we had an entire island to ourselves. The current rate is $330 per day, and that includes boat transport to the island, 3 big meals, and you can use all of the water equipment like kayaks and snorkeling gear. The accommodation isn't luxurious, but we loved it, and the island was probably the best place that we have ever stayed anywhere in the world.
So that's it for the guide. As you can see, there's an incredible amount of things to do in El Nido. We stayed there for 6 months and we were able to find new things to do and new places to visit pretty much every week.
El Nido is by far one of the best beach destinations that we've ever been to, and it's crazy because everywhere you go is just paradise, and El Nido is just a small part of the Philippines. So yeah, the country is just amazing, and there are many other incredible places like the ones that we showed in this video.
So hopefully this video gave you some great ideas and tips if you're heading to El Nido. If you like this video, just drop a like to support us. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook, and subscribe to this channel if you like to see more videos like this one.
Thank you. Bye.